The moment changed everything before Daniel even understood why. In a hall glowing with chandeliers and white roses, surrounded by laughter that didn't belong to him, a quiet, powerful presence shifted beside him. He had been standing near the back of the wedding venue, suit borrowed, heart heavy, eyes accidentally lingering on a life he believed he would never have. And then it happened, the subtle pause in the air, the sudden awareness that someone important had noticed him, not with judgment but with intention. A successful CEO, confident and composed, leaned close enough for only him to hear and redirected his attention away from loss and toward possibility. In that instant, Daniel's carefully buried pain cracked open, and a future he had never dared to imagine began to breathe. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that life can surprise you when you least expect it, take a moment right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. Daniel had not wanted to come to the wedding at all. Weddings reminded him too much of promises that didn't last and dreams that dissolved quietly in the middle of the night. But his sister had insisted, reminding him that it had been 3 years since his wife passed away, 3 years of raising their daughter alone, 3 years of surviving rather than living. He had given in, mostly because he was tired of being strong all the time. The suit he wore felt slightly too tight around the shoulders, like everything else in his life, stretched beyond comfort. As he entered the venue, he immediately felt out of place among polished guests, confident laughter, and expensive perfume. He was a single dad who worked 2 jobs, counting coins at the grocery store, pretending not to notice when people looked at him with pity or polite distance. The bride walked down the aisle radiant and certain, her future unfolding step by step. Daniel's eyes followed her not out of desire, but out of longing for a life that once felt within reach. He remembered his own wedding, smaller and simpler, the way his late wife had laughed when he almost dropped the ring. Those memories were both warm and cruel, reminding him of what he had lost and what he had to keep going for. His daughter's face flashed in his mind, the reason he woke up every morning despite exhaustion, the reason he never allowed himself to fall apart completely. That was when he felt it, the presence. The CEO, known throughout the city for building an empire from nothing, was attending the wedding as a guest of honor. She was composed, elegant, and carried herself with the quiet confidence of someone who had survived storms without needing to announce it. She had noticed Daniel not because he stood out, but because he didn't try to. There was something unmistakable in his posture, a weight carried silently, a decency that had not yet been eroded by disappointment. As she leaned closer, her words redirected his gaze, not with authority, but with something gentler, something human. It startled him more than if she had scolded him. From that moment on, Daniel struggled to focus on anything else. During the reception, while conversations buzzed and glasses clinked, he felt seen in a way he hadn't since his wife died. He caught himself wondering why someone like her would notice someone like him. The answer unsettled him, because it hinted that maybe his life wasn't as invisible as he believed. Still, reality returned quickly. He reminded himself that he was there as a guest, nothing more, and that after tonight, he would return to his routine of school drop-offs, night shifts, and quiet dinners at home. Fate, however, had already shifted course. Circumstances aligned in small, almost unnoticeable ways. They stood near the same table. They shared the same quiet appreciation for moments that others rushed past. She observed how he listened more than he spoke, how he smiled when others talked about their families, how his eyes softened whenever children ran by laughing. She didn't ask questions, but she saw enough to understand that this was a man shaped by responsibility, loss, and unwavering love. Daniel's challenges didn't vanish because of a moment at a wedding. Life didn't suddenly become easier. Bills still piled up. His daughter still asked questions he didn't always know how to answer. Loneliness still visited him late at night when the apartment fell silent. But something had changed internally. For the first time in years, he felt a flicker of possibility that didn't feel like betrayal to his past. He began to believe that moving forward didn't mean forgetting, and that opening his heart again didn't diminish the love he had already given. Their paths crossed again, not dramatically, but naturally, the way real life often works. A chance meeting turned into shared conversations about responsibility, about sacrifice, about the quiet strength it takes to keep going when no one is watching. The CEO, despite her success, carried her own scars, Years of being underestimated, relationships sacrificed on the altar of ambition, nights spent wondering if success was worth the solitude it brought. In Daniel, she saw authenticity. In her, he saw understanding without judgment. As weeks passed, Daniel found himself standing a little straighter, speaking with a little more confidence. Not because his life had transformed overnight, but because someone had reminded him of his worth. The struggles he faced as a single father didn't disappear, but they felt lighter when shared, even indirectly. He learned that strength wasn't just about enduring, but also about allowing yourself to be supported. The real turning point came quietly, without grand gestures. It came when Daniel realized that his daughter laughed more freely when he smiled more often. It came when he allowed himself to dream not of wealth or status, but of peace. The CEO didn't rescue him, she didn't need to. What she offered was recognition, respect, and the courage to believe that his story wasn't over yet. The wedding that once felt like a reminder of loss became the beginning of something unexpected. Not a fairy tale, but something more meaningful. A reminder that life doesn't end with heartbreak, that love doesn't always arrive the way we expect, and that sometimes the most powerful moments are the quiet ones that redirect our gaze. Just before this story ends, take a moment to comment below and share what part of Daniel's journey resonated with you the most. Your words might be the encouragement someone else needs today. Near the end of the evening, long after the lights dimmed and guests departed, Daniel stood alone for a moment, reflecting on how one unexpected whisper had shifted his entire perspective. He understood then that hope doesn't always shout. Sometimes it leans in gently and reminds you to look where you never thought you belonged. If this story touched your heart, if it made you believe again in second chances and quiet miracles, please engage with this video. Like it, share it, and let us know in the comments how it made you feel. Your support keeps these stories alive and reaching hearts that need them most. Daniel walked away from that wedding not with answers, but with something far more valuable, renewed faith in himself and the future. And sometimes, that is more than enough to change a life.